Okay. Hello. I think I need to. Okay, I'll just stand here. My name is Romeo Perlstein. I'm a student in CMSC 731, Advances in XR, and this is my submission for homework 4. Um, yeah, let's just get right into it. So, click here. That's the rubric. Click on Unity. Look at this. Oh, I'm on the wrong. Okay, there we go. Click on Unity. Open. Play. So the first things first. In this world, I'm generating 1,000 rectangles to pop up, hopefully. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So you can see from the headset recording. Wait, is the recording good? Yeah, that looks pretty good. From the headset recording, that there's a bunch of rectangles. So I generated these. Okay, here are my hands. So this is flying. So I have two modes of flying. So if I use the left thumbstick, I think, no, the right thumbstick. Use the right thumbstick and go forward. You see, I'm not showing that off. And go forward. I guess it's gonna be hard to show off. But if I press forward, I go forward. And this is based on where I'm kind of facing. So as I turn, I kind of turn the direction. Let me see if I can show this. Try to hold the thumbstick. I'll do like this. Okay, so as I wear this, press forward. See, I'm not trying not to change the direction. And as I look around, I change the direction I'm going in. Kind of neat. Okay. And I can also strafe. So I can go back or left and right. And then I can go backwards. So as I turn, I go backward in a different direction. I think. Yeah. So that's that. And I haven't just set to, well, I'm getting dizzy. To a set speed. I also implemented a flying mode, which I think is what the homework was getting at. So I go over to Unity and I click, instead of survival, I go to creative mode. Now when I push forward on the thumbstick and I look up, I can now fly up. So, and I can still kind of change what direction I'm flying in. So I look up and I can still strafe. So now I can kind of like try to, oh God, fly through these. Ooh, buildings. I go up and then go down. Wow. Oh my goodness, this is fucking crazy. Um, so yeah, you can see this is the flying mode. Um, and the speed is proportional to the thumbstick, so I can change. If I just kind of push it a little bit, I only go a slow speed, and then the more I push it, the faster I go. So, and I just have a set speed, but it's multiplied by the thumbstick value. So, like, not pushing it at 0, and then increments all the way up to 1, and that's my thumbstick. And then I go backwards through and go up, down, straight, and all that kind of stuff. Okay, cool. So that's one. Oh, I'm moving, right? I'm moving in the virtual world, and nothing's happening. Okay, that is one. Let's, whoa, I'm all the way over here. Let's show off number 2, which is the teleport. So I think if I just flick this on, it'll put me back to 0. I don't think it did, so let's do that. So let's set this to 0. Cool. And I think you can see this too. If I step over here, you see that. Hey crowd, can you see this on the screen?
Yeah,
The orange thing or the yellow thing?
the yellow arrow.
What can you see the trajectory too?
Yeah.
Hey, okay, cool. So this is the teleport. So you can see if I press the trigger, it'll turn it on, and then I can use the thumbstick to adjust how far I'm pushing this trajectory. And if I go all the way to 0, it just disappears because there's nothing to project. But if I can push it out pretty much to infinity, or I can just keep pushing it, and you can see that I can pick a place to teleport to, and that arrow is just, it's got a fixed direction, so I can change that in a sec. And also it will adjust to the norm of whatever surface it hits. So like I can go upside down if I wanted to. Let's try that. Yeah, there I am. So, oh, oops, I think I teleported to the wrong place. Let's see, get to that, and I do this. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I think I'm just inside of it. Okay, cool. Yeah, and it ignores my hands as well. So I've added the raycast ignore. But yeah, I'm creating this parabola, or I guess this trajectory based on my hand angle and the amount of push I'm giving it. And then I can also change the direction that I want to face. So like here, I want to go here. I rotate it because I want to face this way. I want to face that block. And I press A to teleport. So there I go. Now I'm facing this block. And I do the same thing if I want to face, let's go face that block, teleport. There you go. And that should be that other block. Let's go into there. Yeah, there we go. And I can also go on top of these structures. I think, yeah, you can see the little indicator. Boom, I'm up there. I want to face the same direction. So boom, I'm over there. And let's go here and face that way. Boom. So yeah, what I can do is I can press the trigger to start it, and then I can use the thumbstick to push it forward or back. Let me get that. Let's show this. Here we go. And then I can rotate it with the thumbstick also. Press A to teleport. Cool. Okay. And then the final, or I guess not the final one, the next one is the silly pengu fly one. So let's show that one off. So if I unclick this, and click this, now I can pengu fly. So I'm going to stand back here, and you can see, so let's step on the corner. So what I have to do first is I put the hands down to my side like the paper suggests for calibration, and I calibrate. See there's a little arrow that says calibration complete. Now I can use the thumbstick to change my speed. So I'm going to set it to, let's see what speed this is. Yeah, so that's pretty fast. You can see as I like lean forward a little bit or lean backwards, I can now start moving. So I can turn. I actually don't understand how turning works other than turning my whole body. And I can use the thumbstick to change my top speed, so the max velocity that's allowed. But yeah, and then I can slow down and there's a little threshold so to start moving. So I have a little bit of swinging arm leeway. I can go backwards. You can see the directions based on how I'm flying. I can go also depending on how much I spread my arms out. So if I go like this and I go like this, it's so weird. I can turn. But yeah, so I think that's got it. Backward, continue to turn, and all that jazz. So yeah, this one was fun to implement. Okay, leave that one there. And then the final one is the room one. So let's click. Oh shoot, that's okay. Okay, I'm going to turn the room script on. I'm going to turn everything else off. Now I want to turn this one on. Okay, I want to turn the room stuff on. Click, click. I want to turn the not room stuff off. Click. Cool. Okay. Oh, and this one I'm going to employ the second camera. So you set that up. Alright, that seems pretty good. So now, what I can do is grab my controllers, and I'm going to walk to the center of my workspace, which is here. And then I'm going to press the A button, and now I've calibrated the route. So now I'm like right in the center, so it's going to keep spinning. But let's say I want to walk towards that table. So I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna keep walking. I'm trying to walk in a straight line in the world, and get close to the table now. I think I've stepped on the table. Okay, cool. So now I'm at the table. Oh, cool. And here's my visual indicator of where my center of the actual world is, and I'm at the table. And if I look at the center, nothing happens. If I look here, it's going to try to drive me back to looking there. If I look here, it's going to try to drive me back to looking there, or rotating the rest of the world. So now let's go to that X. So I'm going to walk towards the X. Oh, this is trippy. Walking, waka waka, walking towards the X. I can't see anything, so I really hope I don't hit anyone. But I'm gonna keep walking, and I don't feel like I feel like I see that I'm walking in a straight line, but I know it doesn't really feel like it because I keep turning. Now I'm at the X, and there is my world space. So it's keeping me again in the center, even though I just walked through my entire, VR world. So there are problems with it, which is like if I look this way, it's gonna keep spinning. So it's kind of weird to look around. But you know, this one took me a while to get implement, so I'm gonna call it there. Oh God, I'm gonna walk towards this wall. So hit the wall. Okay, let's put this back up. Oh. Okay, let's walk towards that. Walk around. Yeah, I'm gonna walk towards it. So, trying my hardest to walk in a straight line in the virtual world. And there's my center of the world again. If I were just to stand here and keep turning, then I would be at the spot I want, and nothing would move until I looked around. Well, let's go back to that table. So I'm gonna walk right through my world center. It does freak out a little bit because I just hit a singularity, but you know, c'est la vie, I guess. Here comes the table. Oh, this is trippy. Cool. And now I'm at the table. I'm going to keep turning just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, that is the redirected walking steer to center algorithm. Tricky to implement. And here it's turning me the other way, so I'm going to walk this way. It's a pretty hard turn, so I've asked it to proportionally turn based on how far away I am looking from the center. So like at 180 degrees it turns super fast, and at 0 degrees it tries to, or at like 10 degrees it turns much slower. So I want to go here. Oh. Yeah, and I'm rotating the world about my position, so there's no offsets, so that helps redirect you. So you still feel like you're walking in the world because everything's spinning around. Oh, everything's spinning around you, rather than rather than things spinning offset to you. If that makes any sense. That was the real trouble. Okay, there's my center. Cool. And I can keep looking this way just to make it spin so that I get where I want to. Oh man. Okay, I will call it there. Oh, whoa, I'm all over here. Walk around. All right, cool. Cool. So I realized in my first recording, I actually had not implemented teleporting correctly. Fixed it. So here we go. You can see that again, I have my right hand and I can't make sure I'm getting this. I'll actually make this a little bigger. I'm recording. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can see that as I grab my right hand on left. Okay, we'll leave my left. Oh, there we go. Uh, I can press the trigger. I guess you can't see that. Uh, let's see. Activate. There we go. Okay. You can see the trigger now. So you can see that as I press the trigger, yeah, I should be able to see this. When I press the trigger, the object appears, right? And then when I press A, I teleport. And I can change my orientation by twisting the thumbstick. So you can see kind of always resets to 0 based on if I turn it and then let go, it's reset to 0. So I can put myself there. If I want to, I can turn and face, and then when I'm ready, I press A. Now I'm facing this block. I can even, see, always faces that same direction. I can turn it and face this block. Oh, there we go. Now I'm facing this block. Yep. And I can keep turning it if I want to face this block. There we go, facing that block. And I can even actually face up. So here's me facing up on the on the block. And then let's face down on the block. There we go. Now I'm facing down. And let's hit the top of this box and I'll face around there. Okay. There we go. And now I'm facing here. So yeah. So I'm going to go up here and just face any random direction. And then let's go up here actually too. Oh, I missed. That's okay though. Let's see if we can get myself up there. Oh, whoa, I teleported way far. Let's turn myself. Let's go. Yeah, let's get back up there. Cool. And let's turn and face that way. Let's get up there. Oh, missed again. There we go. And let's get up there. Oh, get up there. There we go. And I want to turn there. And now let's just start bouncing between buildings, I guess. And there's one. So let's turn it, extend it a little bit. Cool. And let's tract it and turn it. Let's see, I can turn it here. That way I can see it. Uh, hey, what happened? My controller's right here. There we go. Left controller not detected. My funds. There you go. Okay, so anyway, so this is the corrected teleporting, and you can see I can select my orientation and also my place that I'm teleporting to, and I can even teleport under the side of these buildings here. Just face whatever direction I want to. So that is, yeah, that's the teleport one. So let's go back to the bottom. Yeah, cool. Yeah, just real fast, I wanted to go over the actual project as well. So here's my setup. I have two different little groups here. This one is for the not redirected walking, which will not initially, but on startup, generate 1,000 blocks and place them randomly in a bunch of locations. So, which I think is cool. But it also just blocks I put in a giant plane. Yeah, there you go. See all the blocks. So that is this one. The the XR origin features the camera. This Pengu Fly stuff is just text prompt. Same thing with this text prompt. I did have a calibration frame because I was struggling with the redirected walking. Sorry, I was trying to get all my frames right. I also have little objects for my left and right hand controller, and then my locomotion game object, which has all my locomotion stuff in it. So fly, teleport, Pengu fly, redirected walking, and I'll show these scripts in a second. Um, and the redirecting walking stuff is just this room I made that you can walk around in. So with some point lights, I believe. Point lights? Spotlights. So, and this pole here will get repositioned when you calibrate after walking to your lab center. And then yeah, that's this. Um, let's see. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much that. Let's look at the scripts real fast. I think I have all of them open. Fly, oops, generate, Pengu fly, RDW, teleport. All right, so let's do it like this. Oh, yeah, so you can see in Fly, I just kind of get all the components I need, so a lot of objects so that I can actually modify things and transform. So I move the character, or I move the, that's wrong, that should be the XR origin directly.
That's I instead of you moving the character controller because I didn't want to implement that. But yeah, I can also get the hand and also check which kind of movement I want. So survival keeps you on the ground and creative lets you fly. And then I default to the left hand. Um, my normal vector, I default to the Y. Whoa. Yeah. I default to the Y axis. And then I'll just start off by saying if they didn't put a camera in, if they didn't put a transform in, then exit. And then I try to get the controllers. And I'll keep trying to get the controllers, so I won't do anything until I actually have collected the controllers. Um, and this is the same thing from homework 3. So then I'll get the desired movement by taking the joystick value and multiplying it by my speed. And then I'll transform the XR origin or the transform based on what the camera position is and applying a vector in the z direction or applying a velocity in the z direction based on that camera position. So yeah, and then get controllers from homework 3, and then this is also from homework 3. So then teleport was fun. Um, I'm using a line renderer with 1,000 different positions, so I can generate that uh, projectile motion. Just getting a lot of different things here, so like unit Z, unit Y. Um, yeah, objects. So highlight object and then the pointing object, and these are all public so that I can set them here. Yeah, so location is. I'll turn this on for a sec. These are probably all. Oh, they start hidden by default actually. But yeah, you can see location 1, location 2. So yeah. Um, where'd it go? Yeah, so I will set a bunch of things to what did I do? To 0 to start, and then I will get the hand position and orientation, and I will see if I'm pressing the trigger, then generate projectile motion, which is this vector of this 2D vector of positions. And oh, this is the output of it. I'll go to this in a sec. Actually, let's go to it now. So if we go to get projectile motion, you'll see um, I take the input, which is the joystick value, and I multiply it by just a constant. Um, and if it's 0, then I hide it because I don't want to generate a projectile pointing straight down. But I'll basically generate the projectile motion here using just the kinematics of projectile motion and get the angle between where my hand is and the floor, basically. And then I return the amount of iterations I did, which should always be 1,000. And then if I am, and if we are generating it, so we are, it would only be 0 if we were less than 0, or the output would only be 0 if we were less than 0. So then I generate the 1,000 index trajectory, and then I can actually go through and render it. And where do I do that? I do that here. So I'll render it as a line cast. So each each thing is its own line, and then I check if that line has gone through an object, then I get the normal for that, and then place my teleport position on that normal at that place. So that's how I can actually get it to change orientation. And this is just where I'm rotating the arrow so that I can change which direction I'm facing. You can see I rotate myself based on my arrow rotation. And then when I press A, if I haven't teleported yet, then I teleport. So this makes it so that if I hold down the A button, I don't keep teleporting. So this is a one-time press. And yeah, that's pretty much this one. Pengu Fly was pretty easy. I pretty much followed what the paper recommended with HLR and HLR prime and those variable names. I wait to calibrate. So once I press both buttons, then I will capture the position of the hand in the left and right controller by getting it. And then if I've completed the setup, then I will get my X max by using the equation they provided, get the maximum between these two. And then I will start. And I'll compute Pengu. So for every time step, I get the headset and the hand positions, and then I don't care about their height, so I'm just projecting them onto the floor plane, and then I do the math behind it, which is I get the direction, which was using this equation, and then I get the velocity using this equation. And then I think val is a global vari or it's a class variable, so I use it and I just do time. I just I integrate it to position so that I just change the position of the transform. And then for redirected walking, this one was kind of tricky, even though it probably shouldn't have been. But I'll get the controller, and then in the main loop, I will wait until I've calibrated my real room center, so where I want to be redirected to, and then I will get my current location. I'll get the looking direction of my current location, so just whatever my rotation of my head is multiplied by the z-axis, so that I get the pointing direction of the z vector only. And then I will get my distance from my real room center to my current location. So this is the vector. And I use this vector to get the angle between my current direction and the vector that points from me to the center of the room. And that's the angle that I applied to my turning. So then if this angle, I just get the sine of it, and if it's less than, um, or whatever the sine is, I'll just multiply it by a speed, basically, which is this. Um, and the turning speed is proportional to the angle, like I said in the video. But if it's in like a threshold of it's less than 5 but greater than 0, or if it's less than greater than -5 but less than 0, so in that boundary of like 10 degrees, then don't do anything so that I don't have to look precisely at the center. But yeah, and then to rotate, and then to adjust the room, I rotate the room and then I rotate the 2D space by taking the vector between the room center and my position and rotating that and then applying that vector to my current location. And then there you go. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. And then this was just on start, generate 1,000 random cubes uh, with this size and using the random to just say put them somewhere randomly. Uh, yeah, so that's pretty much that. And I will leave it off there.